everyone, welcome back to more Flesh and Bad, and today we're going to be taking a look at a previous psyop that I created, which is CYB-Zen. So this is a fake deck that no one plays, except for me. And the goal of this deck is that we're basically trying to fatigue until we hit Cosmics. So we kind of have like this interesting 60 here, so we're kind of like keeping the same ratios as kind of like a normal CYB, a normal non-CYB-Zen deck. But this time we are running CYBs, so the deck has gotten significantly nerfed since the blue ban. I think it was a lot more viable then, but we'll give it a shot now. I don't actually think it's all that bad because I think people still probably don't expect this deck, and I think that you kind of have to play very differently into it. But yeah, I definitely want to just give this a try, see if this still has any legs. Again, like for the main board, it's pretty much just like normal Zen, except everything's a 3-block here, except like Biting Breeze. I think I just needed some amount of like Transcend starters just because the deck can like kind of struggle if you just like don't have that. So that's why those are in there. Again, like having a 2-block in a fatigue deck, obviously not great. But it kind of just helps fit the kind of theme of the deck a little bit. Yeah, but the rest of the deck is basically just 3 blocks and then Transcend cards. And then in our board, we basically have this very large defensive package. So Wax On, Wax Off, Unravel, Sink Below, Flick. I think the Wax On, Wax Offs are a lot better here. Wax On, just a very standalone good card, but Wax Off, probably even pretty decent in this list. Yeah, so that's kind of like the core idea of the deck, and this is probably what I might use to sign up some of my locals in Colorado, but we'll see about that. Yeah, with that, let's go ahead and try it out and get in some games. All right, so we got a Levia. So I think against Levia, we'd probably do want our defensive package. What do we want to board out? You can also just board out nothing. Seems like semi-reasonable. Just run 68. We can maybe cut like grain and path. It seems fine. Alright, not a bad starting hand. Does kind of look like a normal Zen deck for now, which is kind of interesting. I was thinking about like trying to cut Ancestral Harmony, but I think it might just be too good in this deck just because being a blue 3-block is really, really good, and then enabling Transcend even at the cost of like 1 deck I think is fine. But I was definitely like considering cutting this card. Alright, we have a Mutated Mass. Fascinating. I've never seen this card. Cool. Here I think we're just gonna give up like Tiger Form just so we can maybe get another blue or something. Alright, go ahead and just Harmony plus Sacred Art. Oh, we just hit off the top anyways. There's like no combo cards in this deck too, which is ridiculous. Let's go ahead and just get our Chase. And I think we are just going to pitch the Cosmic to Kakara. If they want to flashback this, I think I'm fine with that. We'll just put whatever Tiger they flashback in Arsenal. Off to a pretty decent start, though. Levia is typically not one of those heroes you can typically fatigue, but I'm curious to see if we might be able to do it here. We might honestly just kill them before we fatigue them. Because our starting hand was just kind of nuts. Goblet of Grave is pretty spicy, though. I like that card a lot. Alright, somehow as a fatigue deck, we've gotten them down to half their life total on turn 1. Let's go ahead and just Arsenal this Tiger, I think. Still probably good practice, even if we are a fatigue deck. Alright, and it looks like we're just kind of drawing into the nuts. What's funny is I think we can even like CYB off this. We don't even need to, but could if we wanted to. Could Cosmic them for 15 as well, but I don't think that's super necessary. Right. Oh, okay. Looks like they want to Sash first. That's a little bit suspect, but we'll allow it. Just because you get more information off the draw discards technically than like you're supposed to have at that point in the game. It's fine. Alright, we have Triple Banish, sure. I think we're just still gonna send it. Like our hands kept being just kind of disgusting. We'll put a Chase back in the deck just for later. I don't really know why we're a fatigue deck at this point, but it's probably fine. All right, we'll go ahead and activate Zen response. Do we want to just get chase, or do we want to get 2 cost? We can also get a 0 cost. That's like pretty reasonable, like a swipe. And we can just play out CYB in response to the flesh bag. They guaranteed hit a tiger. And then we just arsenal the tiger. I think that makes the most sense in terms of like controlling the banish here. Because like we could have gone for chase and then like 50-50 the CYB, but like, yeah, I don't think that's worth it. I think it's worth it when we can just like kind of kill here. I feel like this is once again proving that like the other 20 or so cards that you put in Zen like don't fundamentally matter as much as like the transcend and the like the good cards in the deck do. All right, we have a pulping, discarding a mark of the beast. That's fine. They have 1 card in hand. They have mutated mass. Twice the number of cards. Oh, different costs. Wait, hold on. How much does this come in for? It's equal to twice the number of cards in your pitch zone with different cost. Pitch zone. This is a it's a 2 attack right now. Sure. I thought it was banish zone that he was looking at, but apparently not. Wait, oh, it's 4 because they pitch. Yes. Okay, that makes sense. Let's go ahead and just kill him, I guess. This is the unit of CY. Like we've drawn the non-CYB part of the deck basically, except for that 1 CYB. That's so stupid. Let's go ahead and, I mean, we're just getting aspect here, or we're just getting chase, so we might as well just play this out to get +3. I think it's reasonable. All right, hill levels, not terrible. Let's go ahead and get chase. It's basically the same amount of damage if we Kakara. I guess it's like, I don't know which one is harder to deal with for Levia. Because the 3 damage is distributed across 3 attacks, but Kakara's like also got annoying breakpoints. I don't know. I think it's like pretty close between the 2. And there's also like the upside of Harmony that we just hit like a random 0 cost off the top. Pretty good for CYB's in though. So this will force at least 1 card here. Oh no, forces 1 card in armor. Or 2 cards. Sure. So you go 1 here. That's A-okay. And then we'll pass back. Alright, we found the more defensive portion of the deck. Which is maybe not ideal if we're trying to pressure now. Oh, they also just like are gonna change Shadow Rumors at me. That's kind of terrifying. Let's go ahead and just like sync this. Let's sync the Cosmic, I guess. That's better. At least I still have to pay for the other Shadow Realm. Okay, and this is only coming in for 6 or 7. Sure. So we don't want to go down to 2 to play around Reckless, which I don't think most Levias run, but we'll respect it at least. It should just kill here. Or not kill, but like strip them out of cards, which will eventually kill them with Blood Debt. This is like barely even a CYB deck at this point. This is just, we've played like basically one CYB and the rest have just been all normal Zen cards. That's kind of funny. Anyways, let's see if we can get another. Alright, so we got a Jarl. Against Jarl, I think I like going first, especially on the CYB build. Into Jarl, what do we want? Probably do want our just reacts. I don't think we need wax on, wax off, but the rest I think seems fine. And then I think Transcending is good in Jarl, so we'll keep those as well. So I think this should be alright. Alright, give him a good look, have fun. Again, this is starting to lead me to believe that you can kind of just throw any cards in a Zen deck with like Chase Aspect and the Transcend cards and like all the other good cards, and it's probably fine. Just based on our last game. All right, we have the first CYB developed. Perfect. Give them no filtering and pass it back. All right, second one also on the board. Things are going great so far. I think they're debating whether or not it's even worth playing out this game, which is kind of reasonable. Ooh, looks like they have a not great hand. Let's go ahead and just block with Swipe, and then our turn, I guess we'll send like Breed Anger plus CYB. Seems fine to me. Wonder what their hand is. Pitched 2 blues in a sink. It's kind of interesting. I think we're just going to go ahead and get the second one out of the way. I think this is probably not a great matchup for us just because like they still have like the long-term threat of like equipment breaking. Like, I feel like I'd almost rather play normal Zen into this matchup. But we'll see how it goes. Alright, looks like they're on a little bit of an Earth package here, which makes sense. And we'll finish on another CYB. Alright, this hand is kind of bad. I kind of want to just like take 4 and kind of respect the fatigue a little bit. Is that worth it? It might be worth it because we can just go like Kakara into Mauling Key, and that's probably fine. If they make a Frostbite at us, I think that's also fine. So I think we'll just keep this. Taking 4 here, but I think that's okay. All red hand is pretty bad, but we'll make the best of it here. You can probably get a decent amount of value out of the Stalagmite right now. If they wanted to. Mainly just saving this Wind Chakra for the first Transcend so we can kind of get that flowing through the deck. Alright, we'll set up our pitch stack. Perfect. Alright, here they have an Oaken Old. Which I think is fine here. We'll go ahead and like sink below this, and then we can actually overpitch to, I guess overpitching is basically the same as putting it on the bottom anyways. So I guess we'll just sink below, and then I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll sink below, I guess put an E-Strike on the bottom and see what happens. And then I guess we'll play out a CYB. Seems decent. And they have a Sotomorrow and what else in their hand? Sotomorrow and Winter's Bite, sure. Do you just want to try to preserve as much deck as possible at this point? Alright, fruits plus Winter's Bite, sure. I think I will maybe go ahead and pay a blue here. So they have a Sotomorrow in hand still, right? I don't really want to let them like Cornet peek me for free if I can help it. Alright, Frostfang's fine. So this hits, we pay 2, and then we prevent the discard. So I guess we're just going to use Sink Below. Should I fish for a blue or a Transcend? I think that seems fine. If they want to pummel this, I think I'm also okay with that. Let's ship the Tiger Swipe, and then E-Strike also works. So glad I pitched the blue there. Alright, they've gotten us back down to 40 as well. I feel like if I was them, I would try to start using Stalagmite just to get Summit kind of unlocked, but maybe it's not worth it. I think maybe getting 1 charge out of that turn that I pitched to the Reds might have been correct, but there hasn't really been a great opportunity to use it. Alright, looks like they're blocking. Sure. Double block. Also fine. Alright, pass back. Alright, Final Fighter Transcend, which is good. Alright, they're just going to summit for 6, which we're, I think, perfectly fine with. Or for 4, rather, because they haven't used Stalagmite. So, I think we're fine to take 4 here. And now we'll get our first Transcend online. What are we targeting with this? If only we could target a CYB. Alright. Let's target... I do like Mauling Key for like the late game. I guess which one's better? I think Mauling Key might be slightly better. Pretty comparable. Alright, gain a resource. Transcend, and then we'll go ahead and just get an aspect here. I think is fine. Oh, refresh. We don't want a Kakari here just because they can Stalagmite and kind of throw off our whole game plan, but we could, like, if they just Stalagmite here, we might... if they just Stalagmite here, we might just Kakara anyways, because we won't be able to play Mauling Key, really. Or we can just Arsenal it. Alright. Do our thing. Again, this is basically just a normal Zen hand. This isn't even like a CYB Zen hand. It's all kind of basically just the same deck, it feels like. Alright, they do get their Decompose online. They don't have more Earth, so this is the only other Earth in their bin so far. Alright, go ahead and play the aspects. It's kind of just looking like a pretty standard Jarl list. At least pretty standard to me. We'll go ahead and Kakara now. I think it's probably fine. They have a Blizzard, we can just pay the Mauling Key into it, and I think that's fine. If they don't want to Stalagmite here, that's also fine. Alright, we get to develop out our whole hand, which is pretty good though. It's pretty, I guess, similar to how I normally play against Jarl, which is to just kind of kill him. Just kind of run a bunch of blues in your deck, and then he kind of just doesn't do very much with his Frostbite, especially if he can't get the first counter very early. Right, this is good for us though. Right, Coronet Peak here is fine. We'll pay 1. I guess we'll just pay with... doesn't really matter here. Key Unleash is fine, probably. Go ahead, Tiger form. It's actually kind of funny here. We might want to, because they can stalagmite this, we might actually not want to Kakara this. We maybe want to actually Kakara after this. Because if they give us the frostbite here, I kind of want to ideally keep this in arsenal. I don't want to just like lose out on the tiger value. So we're losing 1 damage, but we're kind of like making it more annoying to block with stalagmite. I think that makes sense to me at least, because we're getting, if we attack with Kakar, we send 2 damage, they block 2 damage. That's pretty efficient. And then we can't play this without pitching this. But if we send this, then we're sending 3 damage, and then we don't have to give this up, I guess. At least that's how I'm kind of rationalizing it. But baseline does look like we're just losing 1 damage. But I think it's better than that. Yeah, because now their stalagmite doesn't do anything. So I think if anything, they maybe should have just stalagmited on the first attack. Probably makes a little bit more sense. But I don't know what their hand is. Maybe they're thinking like a 0 cost in hand. I think it's pretty reasonable to assume. All right, they have a Frostfang and a Felling of the Crown in hands. They have a card in arsenal. We've not seen a pummel. We can't really play around a pummel though. Do we want to give up our first piece of equipment? We could also just like unravel aggression on this, which is kind of funny. It's probably not worth it though. You just like flick, sink. I don't even think I want to block with pouncing paws. It might not be worth it to do so. We could just like let ourselves get hit by this, take 1 damage, and then put 2 cards at the bottom, arsenal, and react. I think we're fine here. So yeah, I'm just gonna let this hit. Blocking it, of course, but letting it hit. Now let's go ahead and sink swipe, I guess. Sure, I think this is fine. Right, so we do get to hold on to a react, which I guess is good. There was like a small chance that we just arsenal like pouncing key there, which is not ideal, but I think it's still fine. All right, pretty normal looking Zen hand at this point. All right, they have another Okanold, which is also fine. They did have a pummel last turn, so they probably are not going to have one this turn. We could actually just let ourselves get hit by this. Like the worst combination of cards to lose to would be like we lose both of these, then we can't send a 2-card 7 at them. But we could also just block this. I think that's reasonable. Like I don't think we're in any rush, and I think the game favors us the longer it goes on. Don't want to give up Traverse yet, because I want to save that for Cosmic ideally. So I think we're just going to do this and take another 2. Alright, we hold on to levels, which I think is fine. Alright, they still have Felling and a Frostfang in their hands. So I expect to get Felling next turn. They might not, though. All right, so we have the Plow holding on to a Felling. Sure. Funny thing about these decompose cards, they're just putting cards on the bottom of our deck, so like if we're a fatigue deck, that's kind of fine. Let's go ahead and block 6 here, and then we'll just CYB in our turn. I think pass. Go back up to 39. Still not at risk of losing any equipment here. How many chase aspects do we have left? So we have 2 of each, and this is one of them. So it's probably fine to block with this one. Again, I think our end game here is basically just Cosmic. They've also seen 3 Oakenolds, which is kind of funny. I don't think... Did they actually activate this one, though? I don't think they did. I think they just blocked with it. I could be misremembering, though. Right, I think Felling here is fine. Are they not decompose? Oh, they don't have decompose. Interesting. How do they? Oh, they plow under, right? Sure. So I guess we'll go ahead and block with aspect here, play out another CYB, and then Arsenal drop, and I think we're in a good spot. Seems alright. Alright, they do have the pummel. Do we want to discard anything, or do we want to just drop this? It's like pretty reasonable both ways. You can also discard the CYB, but I don't think that's worth it. Maybe we're just doing this, and then I guess we can just drop it for 1 damage value. Still a nice healthy life total. Is this a hand we want to pop Traverse on? Probably not. Again, I think the longer this game goes on, the more it favors us, paradoxically. Right, other felling is fine. They do have Decompose for this one. So I think we're just going to do our thing here, block 6, bottom chase, and then Arsenal Sacred Art. Seems decent. Bottom of that, block. Alright, this is our last aspect, which is a little bit annoying, but I think it's still fine. Notably, they only have 1 Earth card at this point, so they can't really decompose super efficiently. Right, they do have a Frostfang here, that's fine. As long as they don't have Pummel here, I think we're okay. So I think here we're just going to double block this. They have Pummel, they have Pummel. Our turn will just send E-Strike. So what color CYB do we have left? We have a yellow one, so that'll come in for 7 total. Not bad. So we're effectively at 42. Definitely a pretty good spot to be in against a Jarl at like turn 13. We've also not given them any like counter value, which I think is very worth it. Because normally I feel like Jarls actually struggle to put the first counter on, and that's like their biggest kind of flaw right now. Alright, so they will go ahead and summon us. I think that's fine. Let's go ahead and just block with swipe, I guess, is okay. Sure. Surprised they're not developing out their crumbles or something. Still seems like pretty worth it just to get like the first couple counters on. I'm like halfway debating if I want a Sacred Art here. I don't know if it's like super worth it though. It's just a little bit awkward with this hand mostly. I feel like we just want to overpitch and then send Mauling Key. This also notably plays around Stalagmite. So I think this is fine. Basically just send a 2-card 7 at them every turn until they die, I think is pretty reasonable. Still have all 3 Cosmics left. I think we have at least 1 Chi developed on the deck right now. We had to get rid of 1, so I think that's still fine. So we should see a couple Chi coming up, I feel like. I feel like we're maybe overdue for 1. Right, here I think we're just going to try to send CNC or send E-Strike at them. So let's bottom like Tiger Form for late game. You can block with Bouncing Key because it's just kind of like a 0 for 4. On our turn, we'll just send E-Strike. I think our last like 4 or 5 turns have just been 2-card 7s, haven't they? Maybe last 3 turns have been 2-card 7s. Seems pretty decent. Alright, they're blocking with one plow under, which is kind of interesting. Does that maybe mean they have a second plow under? Alright, this is a pretty good hand, though. Alright, now they're going to develop out the crumble. That does make sense. Curious what they're going to put it on. I feel like Traverse is probably the correct pick, just in general. Putting on the Pouncing Paws seems like maybe the... I don't know if that's the choice I would have made. Let's go ahead and just do levels, path, and then Sacred Art. We will gain a resource, Sacred Art. Oh, we can actually CYB to put another blue in pitch. It's kind of funny. Sure. Actual synergy here, I guess. Get a chase here. I think it's pretty safe that we're going to be able to develop it. All right, go ahead and get our full levels value. So even if they have a Blizzard here, we can still pay for chase, which I think makes it worth it. All right, they will give us the last Stalagmite plus get their Mangle, which is pretty decent when they have Dominate. So that's at least going well for them. All right, go ahead and just jam out the Tigers. That is our last CYB, so unfortunately no more life gain in this game, which is very sad.
I like that.
All right. Unfortunately, we will lose out on chase here because we didn't draw blue. So that sucks a little bit, but not the end of the world. It seems all right. Could even theoretically like pop our Pouncing Paws here just to get the extra 1 value since next turn they're threatening to destroy it anyways. Might as well, right? Maybe got a little bit greedy with chase, but I think we're like pretty likely to draw into a blue there, it felt like, especially with all the kind of like transcending shuffling we've been doing. But we'll go ahead and pass it back. They basically got like 7 value out of that Blizzard, which is actually pretty crazy. And now I feel like their Mangle is going to be pretty sad. Still have only seen one pummel though, so they still have some game. All right, Angle for 8 is a-okay. If they want to pummel this, I think that's also fine. Still have 1 chase left on the deck, right? Yeah, we do. I don't really see a reason to block this or do anything, so if they have pummel, they have pummel. I don't really care. All right, so this most likely means they're not sitting on pummel. All right, let's go ahead and start with Kakara. I'm just keeping back extra blues in case we need to pay for Blizzard, because I think we've only seen 1 at this point, right? All right, give us the trunks here. That's fine. I think we're just gonna send a mauling. Okay, pretty decent hand for Cosmic King. Though maybe I spoke a little bit too soon. Alright, that into Summit. So notably, this will not give us another Frostbite. Have we already lost a Cosmic? Can we afford to give up this one? So we could also just send this for 15 by popping Traverse. No, we can't, because, yeah, we can't do that. So you can't play Cosmic here. What is the backup plan? May just take 6 damage, honestly. Like, we're so far ahead, that's probably fine. Like, they don't give us an additional Frostbite because they already made one. So, the summon has not been great this game, by the way. I don't know if anyone's noticed. Not for lack of them trying. I think it's more so just I don't think the card is all that good. Let's go ahead and start. I don't even think we want to activate Zen here, do we? So how much does this cost? So this costs 1, this costs 1. Tiger will cost 1, so that costs 3, which uses that. Zen also costs 1. I feel like everything is a little too expensive here. Maybe still just do it anyways. So we'll pay 2 for this, pitching Cosmic, Rising Sun, paying the 1. Is Chase good here? I feel like we put Chase on the bottom, gain a resource, so we're neutral. I can't calculate all this if you can't tell. So Tiger comes in for 1, we activate Zen for 4. Tiger costs 1, and then we can get a 1 cost. No, we can't get a 1 cost. We can get a 0 cost. Can we get a Key Unleashed? Potentially get a Key Unleashed if we wanted to pitch Flick Flack, but it also doesn't seem worth it. So I think the play here is actually just 0 cost. And then we send Tiger for 3. 3 into 5, I guess, is probably the best way to play that. They Blizzard us. I think that's fine. We're basically just thinning our deck for Cosmics at this point. I think that's reasonable. Alright, they'll give up Peak, which is pretty fine. I don't like Coordinate Peak in Jarl, by the way. I have not been incredibly impressed by that card. I've seen a ton of people playing it, but I don't know. I feel like every game I play, maybe it's just the Zen matchup that makes it feel pretty underwhelming, but I don't know. Not crazy about that card. Alright, here, let's go ahead and block. 6 here. Send Biting Breeze on our... They don't have an Earth card, right? Yeah, sure, I guess it's fine. Again, I think our late game is better than theirs by a mile. We could Arsenal Cosmic here. I don't think that's unreasonable. How many CNCs have we seen? We've not seen like any CNCs. I mean, they have to be running CNC, right? Not sure. Alright, this is the Cosmic for 15 if we want it. Sure. Alright, so overpitching for Command and Conquer is fine. Could go for it. But like, we also don't need to, really. I'm just gonna send it for 15. I think it's probably fine. Alright, so we have 3 other Chi developed on deck. That's good information. Alright, we're fully naked. Alright, they can go to 1 here if they block like this. Okay. Go to 5 here. Definitely not too bad. This hand is pretty gross though. So I'm pretty sure we just win here. Do we have an aspect left? Yeah, we do not have an aspect notably, which makes it a little bit harder, I guess. Because we can just get like a key unleashed here and probably be safe, although it doesn't really play around Blizzard if we want to be a little bit careful about that. So maybe we just get like a Breedinger here. And do Draco. I think we're still in a fine spot here. Plus we're just sitting on Unravel if they have any kind of interaction. They do still have one CNC left in the deck, I guess, though, so might be a little bit of liability. All right, so let's go ahead and Kara. I think I'm pretty safe here from Blizzard. Yeah, we're still safe even if they have one Blizzard here. Yep. So I'll pay 2 here, and then we'll just pitch Chase the Tail for Breedinger purposes, or I guess for Tiger purposes. Or I guess we are pitching it technically to the Breedinger, so I was right the first time. Then Breed should pretty much close out this game. I guess they can block with Tunic and like a 3-block, and then block with like, or not block the last Tiger. But it still seems like a pretty dire situation for them. All right, go ahead and pass back. Ooh, another Cosmic is very good. For the Winter's Bite, I guess we can't Cosmic anymore. That's fine. We'll go ahead. I guess we're discarding at this point. We'll go ahead and discard a Vine Breeze. That's fine. I did want to pay, technically, but I don't know if they're going to let me undo, so that's okay. We'll go ahead and just pitch the Cosmic here. They still have, I think, 1 Blizzard we have to play around. Alright, I think we're probably safe to just get a Key Unleashed here. They want to use the Blizzard to eat it, I think that's fine. Alright, now they need a 4-block and then a 3-block. Which they might have, honestly. Oh, they do have Pulse, which unfortunately does not do it. That's pretty good one. Again, I think Jarl is just like a kind of pretty bad matchup for or I think Zen is a pretty bad matchup for Jarl just in general. No matter how you build it, I think it's just pretty bad. But this build, I think, does probably pretty well against Jarl just with all the D reacts and like the CYBs and stuff. It probably means they can't really like race you. If you gotta look at the leftover threats, they do have like 2 pummels left in the deck, but again, like they're kind of pretty low on threats like once they get past the pummels, and even if they're able to like extract like 10 or 15 value out of the pummels, like they're still not killing us from 22. So I think it's a pretty good game. All right, well, I think that's going to wrap it up for today. Thank you all for watching. Again, CYB is actually like semi-viable in this deck. I think it probably plays pretty well on like pretty slow decks. And I think you can probably catch some aggro decks kind of by surprise by playing it. So definitely kind of like an interesting build. I might honestly try this out at one point. But yeah, like kind of just good stuff Zen with just random extra cards that, I mean, kind of mattered, somewhat mattered, but like I feel like the core of the deck matters more so than these individual cards. So Zen's broken. What else is new? Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.